Yay, we are together again.
It's such a pleasure to see you every time.
Likewise. Yes. Yes. So lots going on. I'm feeling it. You're feeling it. Go. Just
Okay,
kidding.
let's just start from the book because there's a little passage in the book that is absolutely on point for any full moon, but especially this one. So let me
Yes.
just get my book open here.
And lay the book, I'm assuming, and just in case someone's
It's
wondering, is
called Moonology Diary,
yeah, by Yasmin Boland. Yes,
and
she's
that's the book
lovely.
we always reference. And the quote says, wait a minute, once we release dramas and conflicts from the past, we increase our ability to create. In effect, we're ditching the emotional baggage that tends to weigh us down. There it is in a nutshell.
Yep. And so you and I have already talked about these weights popping in and reminding us that they still need some love and some nurturance and some realization that they don't need to be here in the now with us anymore.
And they're actually just they bring up from the past, and it probably seems extremely random, and why is this necessary at this point in time, and it may not even be something that is related to you, but
Yeah.
it's coming up anyway because this is all of the stuff it's like pouring a soda into a glass and there's bubbles coming up everywhere. That's very much what it's like right now. Everything that needs to come up is coming up and it's bubbling up everywhere.
Yeah.
And if, as it bubbles up, the task for us is to stay grounded, to return to grounding as
Mhm.
many times as it takes in whatever ways it takes. And
Mhm.
that's so crucial right now to hold the energy. Consider yourself being on the surface of that soda and all the bubbles are coming up everywhere. How
Yeah.
do you ground? How do
Yeah.
you ground? It takes, people have been asking me, so what do you use? Well, I have lots of tools, many tools, and it depends on the situation. What's going to work this time?
Yeah.
And I strongly suggest to everyone, I mean, not manifestation. I just lost the word. Um,
It's okay.
like this.
Oh, like mantras and meditations and
Meditation, that's the one I was looking for, is
yeah.
wonderful. And yes, I use that.
Yeah.
Is it the only thing I use? No. Is there about 1,000 different forms of meditation that I use? Yes, absolutely. You know, it doesn't have to be any one thing. In fact, right now, when these bubbles are coming up to the surface, you may not be in a position to sit like a pretzel.
Yeah.
You may be in the middle of a meeting. You may be, tasking, and it just may not be the best time for that. How else can you meditate? Can you meditate while washing the dishes? Can you meditate in the middle of the meeting and still hold your presence in the meeting?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And so I was looking at her words for this particular one, and she says, lessons to learn. That's the bubbles. Cramped style. More bubbles. Push through dramas. More bubbles. See the bright side. Well, let's look for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's potentially the insight. And yeah, I was watching someone, I hesitate using let go or release and stuff right now because it it's like we already have and it comes back, and there's not really a letting go of it, because it does, if it doesn't match our energy the way we want to be, then you don't have to let go of it. You just let it, like, we don't have the right words in English. It's like you just let it roll off your back, or I don't know how to say it.
What I've been doing, and you're right, you're absolutely on point. The You can't necessarily let it go. Okay, so you keep it with you, you send it love, and you transform it. Give it the
Mm,
opportunity and allow it to transform into new earth energy, whatever you want to call it. You
yeah.
can transform it. And it's better that way, because then instead of trying to force something to be the way you want it to be, which is a control thing, you allow it to become what it can be.
Mm,
And that works so much better on both sides. None of us want to be controlled.
no.
Why would that? But if it's allowed and encouraged to evolve in a way that is going to be healthier for everyone, ah, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much easier. It
Yeah.
feels so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Nice.
I don't use the let go as much either. As there you are. How would you like to transform?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. The acknowledgement. Cool. So, along with all of this, like, um, we're at the end of February nearly, and lots, like, the Lunar New Year's happened, and we're just in a different, not necessarily in a different season, but it feels like we're already, like, keeping going. The train's still running. We're trucking here, and whatever terminology you want to use. Um, what are your thoughts about continuing past this full moon that's happening?
Like you said, and we've mentioned it on other times. Um, it isn't about just right now. It's about at least the next 2 years, and it's not something that's going to go just smoothly and nice and simple and easy. This is transition. And as much as the transition, the little transition, the personal transition we just talked about, which is a microcosm of the macrocosm, we're doing the same thing in society. We need to look at everything, and everything's being brought up, and everything is at the same time crashing down around us. Everything that doesn't work anymore. We see it crashing all over, and we see evidence of it crashing, uh, or even if you will, that the walls are just crumbling. Uh, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything is falling and the world is falling apart. No, but if we take another metaphor on this, when a bird has an egg, the egg sits there for a while. But then when it's time, when the chick inside has grown to the point where the shell is just too tight, which is where we are right now, it starts pecking away, and the shell crushes around it or crumbles around it, cracks and falls away. That's exactly where we are right now. We've outgrown the old, outdated, and we're moving into the new.
Mhm.
Is it going to be nice and neat and clean? I would say that when a chicken comes out of the egg, or a bird comes out of the egg, it's not necessarily neat and clean. When a child is born, it's not necessarily neat and clean. Does that make it any less desirable? No. It just means that there is a transformation going on. And when we keep that in mind, it's easier to ground and to keep coming back to where we are.
Yeah.
Okay, we're here right now. In this moment, everything is okay. All
Yeah.
right, let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, what's the word I want to use? We have to practice to get into that frame, right?
And
Like,
by the way, communication is right now really critical. It's all of us are, what's the word? What's the word?
I just thought it was perimenopause for me, but you know,
No, no, I'm well beyond that, and it's
yeah,
happening to me, and I've everyone around me, is I just lost the word.
yeah,
The communication is changing too, and we've talked about this, what the communication is going to turn into,
hmm,
how it's going to be, because
hmm,
the words are so frequently inadequate
yep,
to actually communicate
yes,
what's necessary.
yeah,
When we think about animals like cats and dogs, they don't see in words, they don't hear in words, they can learn some human words, they see in pictures. And all animals, all beings, all plants, everything else communicates telepathically.
yeah,
This is where we're moving. This, what we have relied on for so long, this spoken language, is also being transformed.
hmm, yeah. And it's the feeling for me, for communicating with someone. And I'm now again relearning, because I knew as a child how to do this, but how to feel what the person is saying.
And you bring up an important point. What we're really doing is evolving back into the child state,
Yeah.
the beginner's mind, the whatever you want to call it, the imagination time where we could imagine anything as real,
Yeah.
and we could communicate
Yeah.
without having to know what the person was saying.
Yeah.
You know, you and
Yeah.
I still do that. We do it all the time,
Yes.
but everyone else is also coming along on this train.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's not weird. It's not whatever you want to call it, black magic or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, it's normal. It's the way that people have communicated forever
Yes.
before there was language.
Yes. Yeah. And like you're saying, nature has always done this. And
Mhm.
we are nature, right? We are part of all of it. And it's powerful for me um to have a son, a child in my life who came through me and has continued to remind me. Because the other day um he asked about stickers. He got some stickers for his last birthday, and he said, "Mama, I would really love some more stickers." And I said, "Well, I actually have my old sticker books that Grandma kept. Would you like to see them?" So we brought them out and we're looking at them, and it just it's filled my week, going through that, and the memory. Like, even some of the smells, some of them were scratch and sniff and probably were very toxic, and we should not be scratching and sniffing them anymore. But just realizing who I was then, and I still am, and I understand it's all now anyway, but I had rainbow unicorns on every single page. I had purple hearts. I had musical instruments, and I still, I'm not going to say still, because I'm going to talk in linear terms in the moment. I'm creating new words as well because the vocabulary just doesn't. um, I forgot there was a huge part in the middle of my life that I was learning other things and experiencing different things. And so coming back to this right now in this time with my son, it's it's fun. You okay, Lay?
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear it. There were roosters right outside the window. I'm like, wonderful timing.
Yeah. It's okay. Not at all.
They heard us talking about communication and decided it was time to communicate.
Yeah.
I was really listening. I love your story of the sticker books. That's just wonderful.
Yeah. And it it's all part of what we're talking about and where this planet is right now. Just remembering, redefining, you know, being. He agrees.
And what is truly important and what
Yeah.
have we been told for so long is but is not really.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And there's a huge push. Like, oh, there's just so many pushes. Anyway, it it is very a very interesting time to be alive, to be conscious in the human sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And I'm at a point now, and I even a couple years ago I would not have said this was true, where every day I'm so grateful for life and for being here at this
Yeah.
time, and just to be in the place where I am right now.
Hmm.
Uh, to me, the whole process is just absolutely amazing. And I
Yes.
know a lot of people are like, but it's so hard, but it's so hard. Well, yes, but we all chose that because we could take the easy way, but the progress, the evolution would be so much slower. We chose to be in this time right now so that we could go through the fast track. Well, the fast track is not going to be nice and neat and pretty. It's going to be fast track.
Yep.
And so here we are. We chose to be here, especially because it is the fast track.
Yes.
And we actually, it's like we won the lottery ticket to even be here at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Yep.
to be in that spot, to realize that we are here helping this world evolve into the new earth.
Yes.
How does it get any better than that?
Yes. Yes. I beautiful, 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 and 100%. I pulled out a sheet. I'm learning our local indigenous language and one of the dialects, and the traditional good morning, Juhui Nuch, is you survived the night. And that just when she our teacher said it the first time, I went, the way our indigenous peoples have and we in past lives used to greet each other, the acknowledgement of existence, namaste, right? The acknowledgement of that spirit, of that survival, of the thriver. We don't, our society now in this moment has forgotten that.
In Hawaiian, it's aloha kakahihaka. Aloha kakahi. I can't say it now.
Okay. But it's there.
Aloha kakahiyaka. Um,
Beautiful.
which is I've just butchered the last word, but what it means is with the breath of life in this new day. That's we're breathing the same air, we're breathing the same love, and it's feeding us, and we're here again to experience it.
Yes. Oh, this is where I hope we are coming to again. In whatever it is that we think on a linear scale, but it's it's powerful to have these moments to remind us, and I'm fully aware because a spiritual teacher last week talked about speaking in terms of time, and our whole like I just said a whole sentence in term of time, moment, remember, now. It just we have some work to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So the these are the random thoughts that are in my brain and can stay, and it's lovely because they're really good fuel for conversation and deep, beautiful conversation and connection of heart and soul and mind to you and to my husband and my son and people who I know I'm safe having these conversations with. Um, and I would love to just do it all day, every day.
Oh, me too. Nothing makes me feel better than to be able to talk to people about all these things
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And if it's, to guide somebody who who is maybe not knowing how to handle it as well as they would like, or whatever it happens to be,
Hmm.
there is nothing better than having that connection with people. And at the same time, for me, and it's a little different for you, but you have the same kind of capability, and I know you do, to have it coming through me, the energy coming through me at the same time.
Hmm.
And have, before I get on any of these calls or in sessions, or the first thing I do is I say, please bring through me the perfect words in the perfect time, in the perfect way, in the perfect amount, for the highest good of whomever is on the other side, and for my highest good and the highest good of all. And then it just comes through me.
Yeah.
I can just feel it coming through me. And that, to me, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. I
Yeah.
could do it all day long. And it brings through a lot of energy for me. And at the same point in time, after it gets done, it kind of dissipates over a short time. And then it's
Mm.
just like, well,
Right. Yeah.
I'm back in this earth again. And I'm like,
Yeah.
can I just stay not in this earth?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And I know that's not possible. That's not the reality we live in. But that's kind of how it feels.
Definitely. Yeah. I get it. There's a lot. There are many times where I just want to go home. Yeah.
Yeah, all in good time, all in good time.
Yes. Yeah. And that's it. And in many ways I am there all the time,
This is true.
right?
It is, everything is everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
And so there is no going home.
Hmm.
There is just understanding that you are not in separation, that you are in oneness
Yeah.
with everything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're here in form or if you're not here in form, it's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so cool. It's so cool. There's
So
been
there
so
really is
much.
no going home, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know. It's just all of this like, yeah. Yeah, connecting the human part of me that has been doing exploring and learning and remembering and connecting with who I know I really am.
Yeah, your true self,
Hmm.
indeed.
And what I know I really am. And all of us have that.
And what do you perceive as what you really are?
Just energy source, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's it's
And our purpose is, now get this, everyone, our purpose is to live.
yeah.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, I say it as to be.